It's the moment cops rush to what's being called the House of Horrors.
This kid, he's not coming to school. There's no reports of him going to school.
Officers and fire investigators quickly realized that there was a room in the house that appeared to have locks on it from the exterior portion of the house. They began to speak to the male victim, who disclosed that he was being held captive in the house for an extended period of time, approximately 20 years.
This victim, 31 years old, was 5'9", 68 pounds. He had a body mass index of 11%. Under 13% is life-threatening. He was in the stages of dying.
Guys, this is an absolutely unbelievable story. It's about a shocking escape by a young man in Connecticut who intentionally set his home on fire to escape a 20-year hostage situation. He claims that he was held captive by his stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan. In this video, we will discuss the rescue and the revelations that came with it. He describes his confinement conditions. We're going to hear the 911 call by Kimberly Sullivan herself and discuss the legal action since her arrest. We'll go over the ignored warnings by reports that were given to police and Department of Children's Services in 2005. There's a lot to unpack here. So let's get started with the 911 call.
When flames woke her, the stepmother called 911.
Please hurry, there's a fire.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's a fire. My son, a stepson is in his room.
Did he get injured? Is he on fire?
Yes, he's injured.
Where is he injured?
I don't know. He's I don't know. I don't know. He's kind of passed out. He's shaking.
Then you see a firefighter carrying out her emaciated 32-year-old stepson.
One victim right here.
Firefighters say he told them, "I want my freedom." He's 5'9" tall and weighs only 68 pounds.
The investigation began from that point. We worked closely with the State's Attorney's Office, Maureen Platt, as well as Assistant State's Attorney Don Thurkelson, because frankly, what was being reported was unfathomable to us at that point in time. Through those investigative meetings and through search warrants, we were able to seize physical evidence and conduct interviews and dig up some more information that corroborated the victim's story. This investigation, as the mayor points out, continues, is very open and very active. We were able to obtain arrest warrants for Kimberly Sullivan. She was arrested yesterday. She was arraigned in Waterbury Superior Court. She's currently being held on a $300,000 bond.
The evil stepmom's secrets are flying free in the world right now. And guess what? So is she. She made bail and she was released the following day after her arrest. And she claims that she is shocked by these allegations. And as the police chief said, it's an ongoing investigation. More information will come forward. I certainly hope there's more investigation into the family. I'm not buying that his absence was excused for 20 flipping years. No way, Jose. Maybe a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. But you cannot explain the absence of a child for 20 flipping years. Okay, hang on, because you're going to want to hear what's coming up next. Thanks to NBC Connecticut, you get to hear what her attorney has to say.
He was not locked in a room. She did not restrain him in any way. She provided food. She provided shelter. She is blown away by these allegations.
The father dictated how the child would be raised.
But he died a year ago, right?
1 year ago, correct.
So what's been going on in the last year?
Well, he hasn't been a child, he's been an adult for the last 18 years. There's been no restraint. There's been nothing preventing him from leaving the house.
How does she then explain the condition of this man?
In our system, she doesn't have to explain anything.
H-E-double-L, no. Sir, excuse me, sir. It doesn't sound like evil stepmommy shared very much food with the 68-pound victim. Man, these clips make my blood boil. Matter of fact, so do the next clips. because I'm convinced people knew. Few spoke up, but this guy did. Many times over many years. The victim's school principal. Let's take a listen to his interview with NBC Connecticut.
The student in question was a kindergartner, and it was my first year as principal of Barnard Elementary School. And I just remember seeing this kid. He was just so tiny, much smaller than usual 5-year-olds, maybe a quarter of the size. I mean, it's absolutely tiny, and he had no color to his face, and he looked emaciated. He looked like he wasn't eating at all. But then I would find him in the bathroom almost every morning, opening up his little lunch. He had a plastic lunchbox that kids use, and it was filthy, disgusting, with just old food and crust and everything else on it. And he would open it up. This is 8 o'clock in the morning, and he starts shoving all his lunch into his mouth. What the heck you're doing? Oh, I'm hungry. I said, didn't you have breakfast? No. What's going on here? And at this point, I would call his mother, and I'd say, the kid's hungry. He's eating his food in the bathroom, this and that. He gets into first grade the next year. We'd go to lunch. We're getting reports from other kids that he's stealing their lunch. He's literally taking it while they're eating and eating their lunch. Now you're talking 6-year-olds now. Kids do stuff like that. So it's not that uncommon, but he was doing it constantly. So again, like Mr. Principal, I called the mother just to kind of say, hey, what's going on, this and that. Oh, I'll take care of it, no, this and that. He's eating, there should be no problem. And over the years, from kindergarten to 4th grade, between myself, the school nurse, the parent liaison, the teachers, called DCF numerous times. If I'm saying 20, that's probably being conservative. And whether they investigate, you do the paperwork, you do the phone call, they do the investigation, they come back, we went to the house, and nothing, this and that. You really weren't getting anywhere going through that agency.
Fox reached out to DCS, and they provided the following statement that you see on the screen pertaining to this victim. The Department of Children and Families has looked extensively at our current and historical database, and to date have been unable to locate any records pertaining to this family, nor any records connected to the names of others who have. Essentially what it's saying, you can read it for yourself, is that they do not retain records 5 years after an investigation has been closed. So clearly they would not have any records. It does not mean that there was not reports made to them. Okay, let's continue with the principal's interview.
The kids would come in the morning, and there was an old bathroom, boys' room downstairs, and they had the old type ceramic urinals, which were probably about 4 feet high, bigger than him. And I would walk in there in the morning, and he would be flushing the toilet, drinking the water coming out of the urinal as it's raining. I'm going, oh man, there's something wrong with this. And he would tell me he's thirsty. I called the police at least 2 or 3 times, could be more, for wellness checks. And I gave statements in terms of there's something wrong. This kid, he's not coming to school. There's no reports of him going to school. Kids see him in the window. What's going on? I don't remember the police literally ever coming to the school to follow up on it, but I remember them saying, yeah, they went to the house, they saw the kid, they talked to the mother, everything's fine. And I would respond by saying, how is everything fine? He's not going to school. I want to make a point that it wasn't just me. It was the school nurse over and over again making calls to the mother, trying to get doctors involved with it, because we knew this kid was not healthy, not getting anywhere. It was the parent liaison. It was the teachers. I could remember almost every teacher from kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade being in my office with me calling DCF together. So, and it wasn't just once a year. It was numerous times a year, and even after he left the school.
The victim's childhood was an absolute nightmare that never ended, day after day after day, suffering at the hands of evil stepmommy and allegedly the father as well. I imagine by the time he became a teenager and started getting older, that he was probably so terrified to do anything when he was granted those rare moments outside of that 8x9 locked room on the 2nd floor Just think how much courage it had to take for him to get that lighter and probably hide it on himself and take it in the room. What a horrific life this young man has had. And by the way, he does have a GoFundMe. Go check that out. I hope that everyone will at least try to donate something and say a prayer for this young man. I know that I will. And I do want to thank you guys if you have watched this far. I certainly appreciate it. Give me a like, subscribe if you want to hear the latest updates on this case. And I always welcome your thoughts and opinions. Until next time, take care.